Hello, welcome to today's episode of Hickship Market Talk. Recently, there has been a lot of interest in global asset allocations and offshore investments. With the industry growing at a very rapid pace, many investors were interested in what are some of the latest trends and developments in the industry. Today, we have Henry from iFast joining us. Hello, Henry.
Hello.
So Henry, you are fairly experienced in offshore investments. So why don't you share with us some of the latest market and industry trends in offshore investments?
Yes, sure. Opening offshore investment account is much more convenient than before. Unlike previous times, investors may need to fly overseas to have their own offshore investment accounts. Nowadays, investors they just can simply schedule a time with their RM to have their offshore investment account applications within Hong Kong. And the account application process is quite efficient. Moreover, investors can enjoy multi-currency cash account. They can use different currencies, for example, US dollar, euro, and even Hong Kong dollars, which most of the Hong Kong investors invest in Hong Kong dollar the most. They can also enjoy most of the different investment products like mutual funds, Hong Kong stocks, US stocks, and bonds in their offshore investment accounts.
So that's quite some improvement from what we had in the past. So for investors looking to open an offshore account, are there any things that they need to look out for? Any tips for them?
Yes, sure. Actually, there are a few areas that investors need to pay attention to. Firstly, talking about the pace of the account openings, some of the banks may take a few weeks to open an offshore investment account, while some of the financial institutions may just simply take a few business days. They can already get the investor to open the account. Secondly, talking about the minimum amount that investors require to put into their accounts, some of the banks require investors to be a premium account holder or even private bank account holders, while some of the financial institutions have a much lower investment amounts. Other than that, talking about the pace of asset transfer, some of the financial institutions can offer a very efficient asset transfer, including all the cash as well as their investment holdings to be transferred to offshore within 1 to 2 business days. I think this is some of the very key criteria that investors need to pay attention to. However, talking about the cultural difference between Hong Kong and some other jurisdictions, investors need to aware that they have a new financial regulations that regulate those offshore investment accounts, and the cultural difference, including the language difference as well as a fee schedule difference, that investors also need to pay attention to.
That's a lot of useful tips and remarks for anybody who's interested in offshore investments. Thanks, Henry, for sharing with us today. If you're interested in this topic, check out the links below. If you would like to see more videos like this, remember to hit like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in.